All right, hello everybody. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of extra time to jump in here. I know that we are not sending our our text notification today, so hopefully people will, hopefully you guys all have your notifications set on your app or on your phones. So hopefully you'll get the notifications from YouTube, and we will be back on track with texting hopefully soon. So we're just going to give everybody just a little bit of extra time to jump in. I'm going to see if I can pull my chat up again today. We did good yesterday, but hopefully we'll get that chat up and running today. So we'll just give everybody just another couple of seconds or so to jump in, and then we will go from there. All right. So you guys, if you didn't see on our Discord server today, I did post up that we are doing all kinds of art today. So hopefully you are ready to go with your art, and you got all of your different tools and your different products today. You gathered all of those up so that you can go and do your fun art with us today. All right, you guys, I'm still trying to get my chat pulled up here, and I'm not seeming to be able to do that just yet. So we might have to go one more time without the chat. But give me just one more minute and we'll see what we can do here today. All righty. All right, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. I'm not able to pull up my chat at this point, so we'll just go ahead and jump right in and hope for the best. And whoops, give me just one more second here. One more possible option for my chat. All right, you guys, I apologize. My chat is not showing up for me today. So we will just go ahead and we'll just wing it today. Hope for the best, and we'll see what we can do. You guys, we do have a great team of moderators here, and they will be able to help answer any questions in the chat. If you need answers, they can definitely help you. Moderators, I'm trying to follow your directions, but those are not working either. So we're going to just hope for the best here. And I think we'll just go ahead and get started. All right. Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here. I was hoping for the best with my chat, but it's not seeming to work for me today, so that's all right. We'll just jump right in. Our moderators will hopefully be able to take care of you guys in the chat there, and we should be good. All right, moderators, let me know if you want me to restart the live stream here. Otherwise, we'll try one more thing. Try to get the live going here. Okay, you guys, it's fixed. All right, I do have my chat now. Sorry about the technical difficulties here, you guys. I super appreciate you guys being with us and joining us today. Thank you for bearing with me during the challenging times here. So again, we are going to be doing a couple of different nail art designs for you today. Some fun springy colors, Eastery kind of colors that you can use either for Easter or all spring. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a few nails on here already. I've already applied my full cover tips using our tip and jewel adhesive. You guys, if you need to see that whole entire process, we've got some great videos here on our YouTube channel showing you exactly how to do that. So at this point, we're gonna assume that the nails are on, they're ready to go. I've gone through and prepped and removed the shine from these two, but I just wanted to take a quick minute to show you guys exactly what you need to do to prep before you use any of our gel polishes or gel paints. So we're gonna go through and just really quickly go up around the cuticle area, tapering down that little bit of extra bulk. If I come in a little bit closer, you can see there's a little bit of that tip that is not flush down to that natural nail. So I'm just using my electric file with my medium grit sanding band, just going around that edge just to kind of smooth that out a little bit. And then I'm going to feather my bit all the way through the rest of that nail just to remove the shine. So I'm not trying to take down any of the bulk of this tip. We don't need to. The tip itself is going to be where our structure is, but I'm just removing the shine so that when we do put our gel, either our gel polish or our gel paints, all of those are going to adhere really well to that textured surface. If we don't have that textured surface, chances are our gel polishes are going to peel off. So you want to make sure, especially down along your sides down here, I'm going to catch this one more time, right down along those edges, really make sure that you've gone through and removed that shine so that you don't have any chipping or peeling of your gel polish. All right, and you can also go through if you need to with your hand file, if you feel like you need to touch up any edges, reshape anything, if you feel like you need to taper in your nails a little bit more, you can always do that with your hand file here, just like I'm doing. All right, I think we are ready to go. Got my nails done, ready to cleanse up here. So I'm going to use my manicure brush. I'm going to go through and just dust off any dust that's left over from that filing. I've got just a little bit of an edge right down there. I want to make sure that I clean that up so that I don't have any last little bits of that tip or anything hanging off the edges. All right, I think we're ready to go. Now, if you do feel like you need to cleanse these, I'm going to grab my ManiQ Cleanser. And ManiQ Cleanser is an acetone-free cleanser. So this is going to be really good to use over those plastic tips. We don't want to be using anything that has acetone in it. Normally we use our Swipe to do our cleansing, but Swipe does have a little bit of that acetone to it. So again, we want to make sure we're using non-acetone ManiQ Cleanser to cleanse these nails. So if we were to use anything that does have acetone to it, it's going to smooth out that surface a little bit too much, and it's going to take away that texture that we just created. So again, you may have challenges with your product lifting or chipping or peeling. So always use your ManiQ Cleanser. That's going to give you a good cleanse, and it's going to not interfere with your adhesion. Now, before we do go into our designs, we're going to use Protein Bond. And this is also going to help with our adhesion. This is going to help to give us more of a tacky surface. So when you're working with gel polishes or gels in general, you either want a tacky or a textured surface. So right now we're creating both. We've already created that textured surface, but now we're going to add that tacky surface, and this is going to give us that extra good adhesion. So we're not going to worry about our product chipping or peeling or anything like that. All right, so I've got 3 different designs that I'm going to show you guys today. We're going to go from more of a basic design to a little bit more advanced design today. So for our first design, we're going to be using our ManiQ Color gel polishes, and I've got 4 different colors here for you guys, and I've also got one of our striping paints. So the first color that we're going to be using is French Exit. Actually, let me go ahead and put this one on. French Exit is what we're going to use for our base color. So we're going to just apply this to the whole entire nail. And let me come in a little bit closer for you guys to see really close. So again, French Exit we're going to use on the whole nail. And when I polish my gel polishes, I do start from the center and, just like I showed you here, work down towards the free edge. And then I'll work back. I'll press down my brush, get that to fan out just a little bit, work that right back to the cuticle, and then I'm going to pull that brush all the way down the sidewall, Same thing around the other side. Get that brush to fan out and then pull down the sidewall and then just blend all the way through to get more of an even coat of polish. So this is going to go into our UV light. Yeah, let me get that over in there. So this is going to go into our light for at least 30 seconds. And while that is curing for 30 seconds, I'm going to show you our other colors that we're going to be using. So we've also got Baby Royal, which is a little bit more vibrant. So our French Exit was a little bit softer, kind of a lilac color. Now we've got Baby Royal, which is a little bit more vibrant. And then we've also got Toothless. Whoops. Yes, Toothless. Sorry, I thought I was grabbing the wrong color here. Toothless is just a pastel peachy kind of a color. It's really pretty for spring. And we've also got Horizon, which is a soft sky blue. So those summer sky blue tones, I think you're going to love these colors all together. So we've got one coat of our French Exit on there. We're going to do our second coat. And our second coat is going to give us really good coverage. Now, you guys, I was telling you that when I do my gel polishes, I start from the center and then I work back towards that cuticle. One of the big reasons that I do it like that is because as I'm brushing out, I'm not going to get a puddle of my gel polish at the free edge. So when I'm brushing from halfway down, I'm going to cap and coat the free edge and all of those sidewalls, and then I work back towards the cuticle, getting everything nice and even, and then I can pull all the way through to get a perfect application so it's nice and smooth and even all the way through. And again, there's no puddling at that free edge. So that was 2 coats of our French Exit. And we're going to let that one cure again for, I would say, another 30 seconds or so. At this point, we don't have to fully cure our colors because every time we add another layer of color, that's going to go into the light for another 30 seconds or so. So it's going to continue to cure all the way through. So that's why we're doing only a 30-second cure each time. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of art on these nails. And again, you guys, this is going to be a very simple, a very basic design. So we've got that for our 30 seconds. We'll take our nail back. Now, if you prefer, you can use a mixing tile and you can put your colors onto the tile and work from that tile. But what I'm going to start with is I'm probably just going to use the brushes in the bottles. So whatever technique works for you guys, you can use both. Now, we're going to do just some basic color blocking. We're going to just apply the colors very randomly. You guys, you don't have to worry about everything being too precise with this. You don't have to be super perfect. So I'm just going to brush on a little bit of each color, just in sections. And if you feel like you want to maybe smooth out the edges of those a little bit, that's where working off of your tile is going to come in handy. Now you guys, it looks like my color was a little bit separated. I hadn't mixed this or hadn't shaken this color, so I really want to make sure that that color is mixed up and that pigment is combined in there. But if you want to, you can use either your liner brush or even your micro detailer. Let me see if I can find my micro detailer here. That really teeny tiny brush. If you feel like you want to get a more straight edge around your design, you can go ahead and use those liner brushes or micro detailer brush to really crisp up that line. But you guys, this is one of those designs that you don't have to worry about it being super perfect. If it's a wavy line, that's okay. It's not a big deal. We're going to get that back into the light. Now, if you wanted to do the rest of your design before getting it into the light, you definitely can do that. But sometimes when I'm working in sections like this, I'll just freeze that for a few seconds. So just maybe 5 to 10 seconds or so. And that way, this first coat is not going to run. It's not going to move on me. So I'm just going to start with it there. I'm going to take my second color, and this one is called Toothless. And this one, we're going to put this one right up by our cuticle area. So this one is probably one of the colors that I am going to definitely use my, my liner brush to touch up, because sometimes you're not going to be able to get quite close up into that cuticle area. Let's see, I see somebody making a comment that they have short nails. You guys, this design is going to be a great design whether you have long nails, short nails, whatever length, whatever shape, you can customize this design. And you don't have to follow the same pattern that I am. You can put your colors wherever you want to. Now with this one, I am showing you using that micro detailer brush. I'm just going to use that to spread out my gel a little bit. As I was applying it, I was more dabbing a little bit on there. So this way I can create that rounded shape up here and I can have really good even coverage. Sometimes if you're trying to work with just the brush to create, the brush from the bottle to create this design, it doesn't always give you the exact coverage that you want. So you can use your brush from the bottle, you can use your liner brush, your micro detailer, whichever is going to work for you to create that shape. So you guys, you can use either the full UV LED light or you can use your touch cure light. Now, if I was working on a real client, I would probably put her back into the light. So one hand is in the light while I'm working on the other hand. But because I'm working on my trainer hand, I'm just going to use our touch cure light and freeze this into place. So this way I don't have to go back and forth into the light as I'm working. I'm just going to use that touch cure light to, like I said before, just freeze this into place so that my color doesn't move as I'm working. All right, so we've got our second little section on there. And for our third one, we're going to use that Baby Royal, that really pretty, really bright color. And we're going to create just a little bit more shape on the other side here. And you know what? I think we're going to create a little bit more of like a triangle. And you guys, the fun part of this kind of a design is you can use whatever shaping you want, whatever creative ideas you have. I think I'm still going to use a little bit of this off of my tile. And again, grab that micro detailer, make a little bit more of a straight edge on my triangle here. Now you can see that these covers aren't completely covering. Sorry, you guys, these colors aren't completely covering. So I am going to do a second coat, but I'm freezing these into place just really quickly first, so that way they don't run. Okay, so again, just freezing with my touch cure light. All right, now I'm going to get this back into the light for a 30-second cure. And again, you guys, as we're curing, as we're doing these designs, the hand is going to be in the light for 30 seconds. Every layer is going to continue to cure fully. And we will do a full cure of 60 seconds at the very end, but that 30 seconds is just enough to freeze them into place. So we've got just a few more seconds in our light. We're going to go through and we'll do a second coat of each color. Now, usually with my second coat, I don't necessarily freeze the layers as much because I already have somewhat of an outline of the color. So at this point, I can probably just go back in and do a second coat without having to freeze or having to worry about rushing. I think my color is going to stay right where I want it. So just brushing on another even coat of all three of our colors. And you guys, let me know in the chat, does this look like something that you can do? I think it probably is. I think this is one of those designs that it really is very easy, but it's a lot of color and it's a lot of fun. So I think almost everybody can do this design. And like I said, we're starting with our easy designs and then we'll get a little bit more complicated. But hopefully as I break down these designs, you guys will be able to follow along and create them yourself. All right, so we're going to do our third color here. Again, touching up that triangle shape. You can overlap your colors. You can keep them separate. However you want your design to look is totally up to you. With this design, it's really about the color and just having some fun. All right, I think we've got our colors on there how I want. This one's going to go back into the light for another 30 seconds. And we'll close up these colors. And we're going to just add a little bit of an accent on these with our white striper paint. So let me grab that one here. So our white striper, this one is called T-shirt. So this is a beautiful bright white. And if we run the top of our handle around the bottle there, get rid of a little bit of that excess paint. And then I'm going to run the top of my brush just around the bottle again to get rid of a little bit of that excess paint. But you can see we've got a beautiful long striper brush. And this is how we're going to add a little bit of an accent to our design. All right, so I'm going to take my striper paint again, wipe that extra off, and we'll just create, again, you guys, wherever you want to create lines, create lines. Again, you can overlap onto your colors, you can crisscross your lines, however you want to. Let's see, maybe we'll do another line from right down here. Just adding that little bit of an accent to really pull all of the colors together. All right, we're going to go back in the light one more time, freeze this into place. And then, you guys, those of you that are normally with us on our live streams, you know what our top coat chant is. We're going to be doing our top coat chant a good amount during this live stream, because I've got 3 different designs to show you, and we're going to top coat all 3 of them. So let's start the top coat chant number 1 in the chat here, because we're going to go in with our ultimate finish top coat, and we're going to seal these colors into place. So again, those of you that are new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying our designs today, if you're having fun with us learning how to do some easy designs, hit that subscribe button. If you've been with us for a while, go ahead and do the top coat chant in the chat. And you guys, don't worry, we're not done yet. We've got a few nails to go here. We're just going to finish up our first design all the way through, so this way you can see that beautiful finished look. And again, this one's going to go into the light for a full 60-second cure is what our ultimate finish does need to cure. But again, because we've got some other nails that we're going to do, we're going to go in for just a 30-second freeze. So that way we can carry on with our second nail. All right, so I'm going to clean up a little bit here. I'm just going to take those colors off of my palette. My second design is going to be a really fun design for spring and summer. We're going to do almost a tie-dye look. And whoops, wrong colors, you guys. I got excited about my nails here. So the colors that we're going to be using are, again, our ManiQ color. And, all right, you guys, first nail is done. Super easy, super fast. I think this is something that you guys can all do quick and easy, and you don't have to spend a lot of time or a lot of extra thought on that. So quick and easy to do. Our second design, we're going to be doing a tie-dye look. And again, we're using our ManiQ color. We're going to be using Aquamarine 101 and Yellow Neon 101 and Hot Pink 101 and also White 101. So those are the different colors that we're going to be using on this design. So for our second design here, again, you guys, I think this is a fairly easy one that anybody can do. It's going to be pretty quick, not too detailed. So you don't have to have really steady hand to do this design. So that's why I say anybody can do this one. All right, so what we're going to do, I've got my colors opened up. Whoops, I need my white here. Now, on this design, we're going to start with a white base. So like on our first one, we did 2 coats of our initial color. With this one, I may only have to do 1 coat. If I do 2 coats, the nail might start to get a little on the thicker side, and we don't need that. All I'm really doing is applying that white base so that our colors that we put on top end up really bold and really vibrant. So 1 coat, I think, is going to be enough to give us that look. So we're just going to go back into the light for another 30 seconds. Donna's asking, Karen's polish color, please. You guys, the color that I've got on my nails, and please don't judge my nails, they have been used and abused a lot lately, but the color that I've got on is our Beige 102, and this is actually one of my favorite colors for really any skin tone. Beige 102 really goes well with everybody's skin tone, whether light, dark, and everything in between. It is a beautiful color, and yeah, thanks for asking, Donna. All right, so we've got that initial coat on there. Again, you guys, if you feel like you want to add a second coat, you are welcome to add a second coat. Totally up to you. Now I'm going to go back to using my palette, and this is just a simple tile that you can get at the hardware store. Nothing fancy. I'm going to take a little bit of each of my color onto my palette. And again, you guys, those of you that are new to our channel, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, so we're going to take all of our colors and just put a little dab onto our tile. And you can really customize this with a lot of different color combinations. So I'm using some brighter, more vivid colors. I think for the spring and summer, I'm really liking those, but you can do whatever colors you like. So mix it up, create your own designs. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with my yellow. And I'm going to take, let's come in nice and close for you guys. I'm going to take a little bit of that yellow, and we're going to draw almost a half moon shape. And again, this is one of those designs that you don't have to be very particular. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. All I'm trying to do is just add that color onto the nail. So just creating our little half moon shape. I think maybe I want just a little bit more yellow. So let's bring that out just a little bit more. And then I do want to make sure that I clean out my brush in between. So I'm just going to use a lint-free wipe. I don't have anything on the lint-free wipe. Just fold that over and just wipe out that extra paint. Then let's see, let's go ahead and maybe let's do pink. Let's grab our pink, and I'm going to just draw that right in front of our yellow. And again, you guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. That shape is fine. Whatever shape you want to create is totally fine. If the colors come together, great. If they don't, that's all right too. I'm going to bring that color all the way down to the edge of my nail though, just making sure I cap all the way to that edge. Again, I'm going to clean out my brush, making sure I get all of that other paint out of there. And let's get our teal color. We got that aquamarine. Again, drawing another line around the edge. And it's almost starting to look like a rainbow. So those of you that are liking the rainbows these days, you can definitely create a rainbow. Again, you can add in more colors, whatever colors you want to add in. Absolutely go right ahead. All right, I think maybe I'm going to add just a little bit more yellow, just for a little bit of an accent. Not a ton, just a little bit. And again, I'm using my liner brush. If you feel like you want to use your detailer, your micro detailer, you can definitely do that too. Whatever brush works for you to apply. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of the white right on the outside. Just again to give it a little bit more coverage right on our edge here. All right, we've got our colors on there. Now this is where it gets fun, you guys. I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, ooh, that doesn't look like a whole lot. But once we start pulling our colors, that's where it gets fun. So I'm going to take my liner brush here again, starting in the center of that yellow, and I'm going to pull to the outside. Now, I do like to clean off my brush in between. If you don't care whether your colors blend, you don't have to clean out your brush. But for my design, I'm going to clean my brush on my tile and just go back and keep pulling. So that's going to look almost like a sunburst. Make sure I'm on camera there for you guys. Just pulling through, clean out my brush, pulling through, clean out my brush. And then if you want to, you can come backwards. So we're going to start with the white, pull the white in, again, clean out my brush. And I really just go in between. So in between each line that I drag through, and that way it's going to just alternate. Cleaning out in between. So you've got one line being pulled outward and then the other line being pulled inward. So you're getting a little bit more of that tie-dye look. All right, I think we're looking pretty good. Now you guys, if you want to, you can go back and you can just pull in any direction from wherever, put in some little swirls, little squiggles. Make this design fun. Just create whatever kind of patterns you want to, blending those colors. Just have fun with it. And I really think this is one of my favorite designs to do, especially during the summer, because there's so many fun, bright colors that you can blend together and just create beautiful patterns. So just have fun with it until you get to the point where you really like exactly what your design looks like. And once you have that design how you want it, pop that into the light, cure it into place, and you're good to go. All right, I think I like how that's looking. Let's go ahead and bring that into the light. Again, we're going to freeze that in our light for 30 seconds or so, and then we can go ahead and top coat. Now you guys, I'm kind of thinking maybe I want a little bit of sparkle on this. I wasn't really planning on putting sparkle, but I feel like we need a little bit at this point. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I've got entry level. Entry level is just a really, really ultra fine glitter. So you can kind of see that little bit of shimmer in there. It's got almost a purple hint to it. And I don't think you can really see that very well on camera. But we're going to add just a little bit of sparkle to this nail. Now, when you're working with the ManiQ colors, these do have a tacky finish when they cure. So our glitter can actually stick to that tacky surface. I'm going to grab my art brush, and this is just a simple makeup brush, just an eyeshadow brush. Don't use it for your eyeshadow. Just use it for your nails. But I'm going to just tap a little bit of that glitter right into the tacky surface of our design. And you can put glitter as much or as little as you want. We might as well just go ahead and cover this whole nail in glitter. Now, you guys, as you're looking and seeing this glitter going on here, it looks like it's covering up the design, but we're just going to dust a little bit of that off. And it's because it's more of a sheer glitter, you're not going to see it covering up once we top coat. All you're going to see is that sparkle on there. Now, I'm going to grab this is our stamping tool, and I love using the stamping tool at this point because I want to really press in that glitter. I want to make sure that glitter is set down into that tacky finish of our gel polish. Instead of using my fingers to press that down, I'm using our stamping tool. So this way I'm not going to get any gel or anything onto my skin. Excuse me, onto my skin. All right. I am going to go one more time into the light, and actually, you guys, this time I'm going to use my Touch Cure light just to freeze that glitter into place. Because we still had that, that tacky surface of our gel underneath, it is going to grab onto that glitter. And if we go through and just freeze this into place a little bit longer, it's going to hold that glitter a little bit better so that when we do our top coat, we're not going to get those little pieces of glitter into our top coat. So just a 10 to 20 second freeze or so, and then we can grab our top coat. Again, you guys, if you are new to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we're going to do our top coat chant again. So we're actually going to top coat this nail twice now. Because we added that glitter on there, I want to make sure I'm sealing that glitter on. So we're going to do a coat of our ManiQ top coat, and you guys, you can use whatever top coat you like. If you want to use the stain resistant or the ultimate finish, those work great too. But for today, I'm just going to grab my ManiQ top coat, and we'll do one coat of top coat. And this one I am going to put back into the full light because I do want to make sure that does get cured. So again, that's going to go into our light for another 30-second freeze. All right, you guys. How's everybody doing in the chat? Are you guys enjoying the designs today? What do you think? Are you having fun? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right, so again, with our glitter press, we want to make sure that we're doing 2 coats of our top coat. That first coat is going to seal in the glitter, but then when we do our second coat, that's how we're going to get a really nice smooth finish. So again, we're going to do our second coat. And this is going to seal in that glitter really, really well, give us a nice smooth finish. And this is going to give us a really nice high shine. Now, again, this one would also go in there for, normally it would go in for 60 seconds, but because we're doing another nail, I'm only going to cure that for a quick 30, and then it'll continue to cure out all the way once we're doing our next nail as well. All right, let's close up these bottles. All right, Eve says you just tuned in, but they're looking awesome. That is fantastic, you guys. I'm so excited for all of you to be joining us here today. So thank you for being with us here. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're enjoying the designs, and hopefully these are going to be some things that you can do either on yourself or on your clients for the spring and summer. All right, we've got one more nail to go here. Now this one is a little bit more particular. So on these first two, the design was really easy. We didn't have to use a lot of balance. We didn't have to use a lot of precision. With the next design, it's going to be just a little bit more particular. Not a lot, but just a little bit. All right, so let me find my colors here. And okay, so for this design, oops, hang on one second, guys. All right, for this design, we're going to start our nail with Pink 106. And again, we're going to do this on the full nail. So this is going to be our base color. Again, I'm going to start about halfway in, brushing through the length of the nail, and then working back towards our cuticle area. Getting right up close to that cuticle, pulling my brush down, and then coming all the way back to the right side, pulling that brush down. And you guys, sometimes when you're working with colors, if they feel like they're not going on very smooth, lighten up your pressure. Do you see how I'm just kind of feathering through there? I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there, but once you've feathered through that, give it just a second to settle. Sometimes, especially with our softer colors, some of more of the pastel colors, if you just give that color just a little chance to settle, it'll smooth back out and it won't look streaky. So just kind of, as you're working with those certain colors, brush on, don't use a lot of pressure, and then just let it settle for just a second before you actually put that into the light. So again, this one's going to go into the light for another 30 seconds. We'll do a second coat of that. And then the colors that we're going to be using for our design today, we've got our Mission Control gel paints. Now the gel paints are a little bit different from our ManiQ color. I'm just going to go through and do our second coat of Pink 106, and then I'll tell you about the Mission Control gel paints. So again, just brushing halfway through, working my way back up to my cuticle area, pulling forward, and very light on the pressure, feathering through, and then we can go back into the light. So again, this is going to go in for a minimum of 30 seconds, but I think I may just put that in for a full 60 seconds just to make sure that it's set before we do our design. So our Mission Control gel paints are a gel. They are a hard gel, but they're very, very pigmented. So let me clean off my mixing tile here, and then I'll give you guys a quick sample of the colors that we're using. All right, so just cleaning that off with a little bit of polish remover. All right, so the colors that we've got Mega Jam, which is probably one of my favorites. I absolutely love this color. Just want to make sure to give those a little bit of a mix. Sometimes after they've been sitting for a little while, they can start to separate just a little bit. So just go through and just gently mix them. You don't want to be trying to like whisk in or anything like that. You want to make sure that they are nice and smooth still and you're not putting any air bubbles in there. But this one, actually, you guys, I think you can see, I don't think you don't need the tile there. So just a super bright fuchsia pink. And then we've got Cloudette, which is another really fun summery kind of a sky blue color. Again, just giving that just a quick little stir, making sure that everything is nice and combined. And we also have adulting. And you guys, I know sometimes adulting is very hard, so that's why we've got this color to encourage us to keep adulting. And again, we're going to give that one another mix just to make sure that it's combined. And one last color is Fizz. And Fizz is probably one that I use all the time. This is probably the one that I use most. You can actually see it's very low in the container. But this is our white. It's a very beautiful, bright white. Again, just making sure that all of that gets mixed up together. All right, so this design that we're going to do is going to be a seashell. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking me to show this design. So those of you that have been asking, let me know. Let me know in the chat if you were the ones that were asking. I want to know. But this is a really fun, trendy design that's I've been seeing a lot lately. And actually for quite a while I've been seeing this design. So what I'm going to start with is our base color. So I know we've got our pink 106 on there, but we're going to go through and create a little bit of a textured pattern. Brittany, were you the one that was requesting the seashell design? Let me know. You look excited for it, so thank you, thank you. All right, so we're going to start with Fizz. So we're going to take a little bit of the white, and I'm using my my ombre brush. You guys, you can see this ombre brush. It does look, let me take here. It looks like it's been cut right through here, and I'm pretty sure that it has, but that's how it comes, all right? So you want to be making sure that you're getting those bristles really fanned out. With this design, I don't want them close together. We're actually not going to be doing a complete ombre, and you'll see what I mean in just a second here. So I am going to grab that mixing tile again. I like to have my tile there to clean out my brush. So if I need to clean out any extra gel from my brush, I can just use this, this tile. So we're going to take that brush, and again, it's fairly well fanned out. I'm going to take a little bit of that gel paint, just a little bit. Now that actually might be more than what I need, so I'm going to tap out just a little bit on there. And we're going to start from the center. I'm going to keep my brush, and turn you from the side here. I'm going to keep my brush basically at a 90-degree angle to that nail, and then we're going to sweep that brush across, okay? So if you start to angle your brush, let me show you here. If you start to angle your brush downward, it's not going to get the same effect. So keep your brush straight up and down there, and I'm balancing my fingers on my other hand here. So this is how I'm going to really be able to control where my brush is moving. I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to work a little bit back towards that cuticle area, and then a little bit down towards that free edge. So I think I'm going to take just a little bit more. And I'm going to start my motion. I'm not even touching that nail yet, but I'm going to start my motion, and then I'm going to start to get closer to that nail. And you're going to start to see those little, just wispy little lines coming across the nail. I think maybe just a little bit more. I don't want to overdo the paint, so I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and then again I'm going to work up towards that cuticle, not all the way, and then back down towards the free edge. And again, you guys, I'm not doing a complete ombre. I'm not trying to completely blend this color out. I do want to leave that streaky look to it. Now I do have a funky little piece of dust in here. So I don't know where that came from, but let me see if I can grab my nipper and see if we can get that off of there. And you guys, I'll tell you, fuzz and lint it's our nemesis. But we got that removed. We can just feather right through that, and we are good. So again, just working up and down the nail just to create a lined pattern, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of that white out of my brush. I think I'm going to go to Cloudette next. That's that brighter blue. Same thing, we're going to take just a tiny little bit on the brush, and I'm going to work that. This one I'm going to keep right through the center of the nail. Maybe working that back just a little bit, but I'm not going to bring that all the way back towards my cuticle. Now you're going to see this is going to start to blend in with that white a little bit. If you want more definition between your colors, you could cure that first layer of white and then go into your to your next color, into your blue. Okay, but because I want these colors to blend a little bit more, that's why I'm not curing in between. Let's grab a little bit of that adulting, and I'm going to do that more up top. Again, blending that, keeping it a little bit streaky, and then just a tiny little bit below. So I've got more of that green color on the edges and then more of that blue color right in the center. And again, blending that out. Now, if you feel like you need to add, again, more texture, I would say cure this, and then you can add in a little bit more of your white or any of your other colors. But I think we're still good, so I'm going to go on to one last color, which is Mega Jam, and I'm just going to add just a tiny little bit right through the center. Just a little bit. And I do want to keep this not quite so blended. This is going to give me a little bit more definition to our seashell look. So I do want to keep just a little bit more line, looking a little bit more like lines. I don't want it to completely blend in. All right, I think I'm liking that. I am going to just freeze this into place. And again, you guys, for demo today, I'm going to use our Touch Cure Light to freeze that into place. If you were working on a real client, you could go ahead and have her put this hand into the light while you're working on the other. So just whatever works for you is just fine. As long as you're freezing that into place, you're going to be just fine. So just a few seconds there. And then I'm going to take a look. Do I feel like I need more texture? Do I feel like I need any more color anywhere? And I think I want just a tiny little bit more white and a little bit more texture. Because again, you guys, with the seashell design, we don't want it completely blended. We want a little bit of that definition between colors. So maybe just a little bit more white. And for these seashell nails, you can really use a whole lot of different color combinations. So play around with your Mission Control gel paints and see what color combinations you like. And you guys, because seashells, they come in all kinds of different colors. And yes, we're going to be creating a more springy kind of a seashell, but they really can be any different color you like. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and get this back into the light again for another 30 seconds. We're going to freeze that back into place. I'm going to cap up my gels here. And you guys notice that as I do my artwork and as I do nails, I really try to keep things closed up and cleaned up as much as possible. So this way, as I work, my table doesn't get so cluttered and I know exactly where things are. If I weren't, if I didn't put away all of these products after every nail here, I wouldn't know what's what. So I've got so many different products out here. I do try to keep everything cleaned and contained so that I know what I'm using and where it is. All right, at this point, let's go ahead and get set up for the actual shell part of it. So I'm gonna go through with a coat of our matte non-tack top coat because I wanna work on a matte surface. I actually like how the seashell turns out on a matte surface rather than a shiny surface. But you guys, if you feel like you wanna use the shiny surface, you are welcome to do that. It's a personal preference, whatever you want your nails to look like. But I'm going to go through with one coat of our matte top coat. And this one we are going to fully cure. Now you guys, we're not doing the top coat chant just yet because we've got some more to go on this. But this one I am going to fully cure so that I can really see exactly where that, that matte finish is. So that when I do my seashell design, I have really good definition. Now, when you're trying to create your seashells, I'm going to find my clear sculptor. So we're going to go back to a hard gel now. So what we've been using before, our gel polishes, those are soft gels, not for sculpting, not for any building of any sort. Our Mission Control gel paints, these are hard gels, but you don't want to be doing any sculpting or building with them. We are using our clear sculptor. This is one of our building gels or sculpting gels. And I like the clear sculptor for this design because it is a little bit of a thicker consistency. So come in here. I'm going to squeeze out a good amount of this onto my tile. And I'm probably going to squeeze out more than what I need, but I would rather have too much than not enough and have to go back and refill basically. So you can see that this gel, if we look at it from the side, you can see it's got some thickness to it, and that's what we want when we're creating this, this seashell. So we're going to take our liner brush again. So I'm going to go back to that liner brush that I was using earlier. I'm going to make sure that this is nice and clean, that I don't have any other gel paints in there. I'm going to turn the hand around, and for me, doing the seashell design works a lot easier from this direction. So I'm going to turn that around. If you want to work from the other direction from forward, that works too. But for me, it's easier for me to get the right lines and the right placing of my seashell. So however you guys want to work, totally up to you. But what I'm going to do is see if I can get this whole thing into camera for you. So I'm going to go in with my liner brush and I'm going to twist my brush into the gel. I want to make sure that I've got gel basically covering that whole entire brush. I don't want just gel on one side. So again, going into my gel, and then I'm going to scoop up a little pearl right at the end, twist off that little string, and let that string reconnect. So you guys, let me show you this. I'm not sure if you're, let me come in a little closer. There we go. So when I pick up that pearl, it's going to have that tiny little string connecting. And you can't barely see that on camera, but there's a little string connecting. So I want to make sure that that string isn't hanging down. I want it to reconnect so it looks like I have a nice little pearl right at the end of my brush. That's really kind of the key to doing this design, is having that little pearl on the end of your brush. So even if you need to, angle your brush straight down and let that product flow just a little bit right to the end of that brush. Then I'm going to come in, I'm going to set that pearl right down in the center, give it a little bit of a press, a little bit of pressure. That way you're going to leave a good amount of that pearl right there. And then from the center, I'm just going to pull and very gently use a little bit of pressure, but pulling that all the way back towards my cuticle. Okay, so just very gently creating that nice line. Now, as you go, we're going to be adding another bead on either side. If you feel the need to, you can come back in with that touch cure light and you can freeze that into place. Just make sure that you are not getting that light in contact with what's on your tile. But for me, sometimes it's easier to freeze each of these into place so that way I don't smudge it when I do my next pearl or it doesn't run or flow. Because we are using the clear sculptor, it's not a really self-leveling gel, but it can move just a little bit. So make sure if you need to, freeze it into place and then go back and do your next pearl. Same thing, we're going to scoop in, twirl that around my brush, scoop a little bit of a pearl right on the point of my brush. I'm going to just twist off that little tail, let that tail hang for a second and reconnect. We'll come to the other side, set that down, a little bit of pressure, and then pull back at a little bit of a diagonal. So this one is going to come in, everything is going to meet right in the center of that cuticle area. We'll pick up another pearl. Again, you guys, if you feel the need to, you can cure that and freeze that into place in between. Whatever works for you. Get that tail to reconnect. I'm going to set that pearl down, a little bit of pressure, and then lighten up on my pressure and pull straight back towards that center point. Just going to bring that in just a little bit more, touch up my other side here, keeping everything fairly even. And then I think I am going to freeze this one again, just so I don't ding the last one. All right, you guys, hopefully you guys are enjoying our designs today. If you're new to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm seeing lots of fun emojis in the chat there, so you guys, thank you so much for that. Love to see that you guys are enjoying this design. Love to see that you guys are enjoying all of our live streams. So let's go ahead and turn off our light. We'll get our next two pearls on there. Whoops, Make sure you guys can see. Again, dip in, twisting my brush so that I've got that pearl on all the way around my brush. Twist off that little string. Let that string reconnect so I have that really nice pearl on the end. And as I work back, I actually think I'm going to take a little bit of that product off. As I work back towards the cuticle, I want smaller and smaller pearls. I don't need the same size that I had right up at that free edge. So a little bit of a smaller pearl here. Again, touch down, pull that pearl back, just gently dragging all the way back to that point. And you guys, if it doesn't come all the way back to that cuticle, that's okay, because we're going to add a little bit of extra onto that cuticle area. Same thing, pick up that pearl, let it drag down a little bit, touch that right onto the side, and bring that back. Just going to touch up this side a little bit, and then I'm going to freeze that one into place as well. And again, you guys, if you're freezing your gels into place, make sure to move your tile away so that you're not curing what's on your tile. All right. Now you guys, I know earlier I said that this looked like a little bit more of a challenging design, but let me know in the chat. Do you think this is something that you guys could do? Hopefully the answer is yes, but if not, let me know why. Let me know what you think you would struggle with, and then maybe I can help answer another question or two. All right, I think we're going to have room for one more little pearl on either side. Same thing, get that pearl to just drag down to the end. We're going to touch that down, bring that right back. One more on the other side. Let that little string reconnect. Touch down on the other side and pull back. Now at this point, I'm going to freeze that into place just to make sure that it doesn't get dented or dinged or run or anything. But you would want to go back into your full UV LED light, and I would say cure this for another minimum of 30 seconds, not 3 seconds, 30 seconds, you guys. So this way it's going to set all of those little lines into place. Let's see, somebody's asking, is the Synergy Gel a form of hard gel or is it different? Synergy, anything that says Synergy Gel on it, so any of our precision applicator tubes that I've been using here, any of the Synergy Gels in the silver containers, let me see if I can find one of those. I can't reach one right now. But yes, anything that says Synergy Gel, that is a hard gel. So that's designed for building and sculpting the nails. Anything that says ManiQ is a soft gel. So hopefully that helps to differentiate between products. All right, so at this point, we've got one more thing that we're going to add to our design. And I'm going to let you guys give me a little bit of feedback here. So at this point, we could make the whole nail shiny, or we can leave it with that little bit of matte on kind of in between there. I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you want matte or do you want shiny? I know what I want to finish this nail with, but let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? I think sometimes we see a certain design and we think that we have to do a certain look. But when you're doing nails, you guys, this is really up to you. You be the artist. You are the artist. So you create what design you want to create. All right, I'm seeing some shinies. I'm seeing some mattes. Matte shiny. Oh, you guys, I think it's probably going to be another Tye. All right. I'd like chrome on. You guys, you can definitely do chrome on these. I'm not going to add chrome on today, but you definitely can do that. That is a personal preference. All right, I'm seeing, all right, the next thing that I see in the chat is going to be what's going to decide, because I think we're about 50-50 here. So the next thing that I see is matte. Okay, so we're going to leave it matte, but I am going to go through and I'm going to top coat just the little lines, because right now we were using our sculpting gel to create those lines. If I were to just cleanse this nail at this point, it's going to take away the shine. So I want to make sure that those are getting nice and shiny. So I'm going to use my Ultimate Finish top coat. Now you guys, those of you that have been around, and if you've been, watching our whole entire live stream, I've been telling you top coat, top coat, top coat. You can do the top coat chant in the chat. I think this is probably our last actual top coat that we're going to apply. So those of you that want to do the top coat chant in the chat, you can go ahead and start that in the chat. But we're not quite done yet. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go here, but I am going to put a little bit of my Ultimate Finish top coat onto my tile. And for this design, I like the Ultimate Finish top coat because this one is a tack-free top coat, and it is also a little bit thicker. So I'm going to add just a little bit of thickness onto our design, and it's going to give that seashell look a little bit more dimension. But then also, whoops, when I finish the nail, I'm not going to have to wipe off any tacky finish. So just like we were doing before, I'm going to use my liner brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that. Let me roll my brush back to a point here. We'll pick up a little bit of that Ultimate Finish top coat, and I think I need just a little bit more. I'm going to just cover each of the little lines. So just picking up a little bit of that Ultimate Finish and set that right down and basically just follow that line. Just coating what we've already got there. So at this point, you don't have to worry about too much precision. Your top coat is going to flow a little bit, so it's basically going to cover that whole little line that you created. Now again, if you wanted to turn that finger around from the other view, if that works a little bit easier for you, you can definitely do that. So the same direction that I was applying the little lines on here, you can do that. For my top coat, I'm not as concerned about getting those lines perfect because I've already got them on there. So my top coat is basically just going to seal what I've already got. Again, just like we were doing before, pulling that top coat back. Let's come over to our other side here, and we're going to top coat our other side, and just a little bit more. And you guys, we do have one more final thing to add to this design, and that's why I'm not being too concerned about what I'm doing in this back area. We're going to fill that space in just a second. Now again, you guys, you could, if you needed to, you could use that Touch Cure Light and freeze all of these layers into place as you're going as well. Or you can just pop that into the full UV light or Touch Cure Light, whichever one works for you. Okay, but just freezing that into place. Now, we're going to add one more thing, and I've seen a lot of people use a lot of different things in that back cuticle area. If you've got pearls, you can add pearls or rhinestones or whatever you decide you want to add into it. Today, we're going to add a little love. We're going to add a little love to our seashell. So I'm going to use one of our charms, and I'm going to use our Tip and Jewel adhesive to adhere the charm. So our Tip and Jewel adhesive, you guys, if you haven't used it yet, it is an amazing product. You're going to love it, so you definitely need to try it. But this is what I use to adhere the full cover tips. So it is a tip and jewel adhesive, so you can use it to apply your tip or your plastic tips, or you can use it to apply your jewels. So to apply my jewels, I am going to grab my dual-ended brush and spatula. So this has the spatula on one end, the brush on the other end. So you can use either end. I'm going to take a little bit of that adhesive. I don't need a lot, maybe not even quite that much. And I'm going to set that right down onto my nail. So wherever I want to apply that jewel, I'm just roll that right off my spatula. And then I'm going to grab my tweezer. And you guys, I like to use a tweezer when I'm working with jewels like this because sometimes I can't quite grip them with my own fingers. So I can use that tweezer and I'll pick that up, and then we'll set that right down onto our adhesive. Now you can see that this is not running, it's not moving. It's going to really stay in place where you want it until you cure it. And you can adjust, you can move that jewel around till it's nice and straight. And this is where I like to use actually both ends of my of my dual-ended brush and spatula. You guys, I've got too many great products that I use here that I sometimes forget which is which. but sometimes I'll use that spatula end. If I have a little bit of that adhesive squeezing out, I can use that to remove it, or I can use the brush and I can use that to tuck that product back up underneath. And you want to make sure that your tip and jewel adhesive is coming all the way out to the edges. So this way it's going to seal around that edge. Now you guys can see I did move that a little bit, so now I can reposition that. And I think we're going to be good there. Now at this point, I do need to fully cure everything, but I'm going to use that Touch Cure Light one more time just to get underneath there and really just seal that gel in and seal that jewel down onto the nail. So I'm coming around the edges here just to make sure that light does hit all the way underneath our stone. And then I'm going to do one last thing to seal that. So again, that just basically held it into place. Now at this point, I am going to use a little bit more top coat, and I think maybe we'll use our ultimate finish so that way I don't have to cleanse the nail again. And that's the same top coat that I was using to seal my my stone or my shell design. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that top coat. Let me grab my brush here, make sure my brush is nice and clean. And take a little bit more of my top coat. Grab a little more there. And I'm going to just seal right around these edges. So all the way around my little heart here, I want to seal to make sure that the stone is going to stay adhered. Now we do have that tip and jewel adhesive under there, but having this little bit of gel right around the edge, right around the base, is really going to help to secure that stone on there. And it's going to keep it from, keep your client from catching their hair underneath or things like that. So just sealing all the way around the bottom edge is going to help to keep that stone in place. And then we will get that back into the light. Now you guys, I am going to do a full 60-second cure on this one. This way, everything that's in there is now going to be, it's now going to be fully cured. And on one of our nails, we did use the ManiQ top coat, and that ManiQ top coat does have a tacky surface that needs to be cleansed off. So I'm going to go in with my ManiQ cleanser, and I'm going to use that to cleanse off that tacky surface. Now, with our Ultimate Finish top coat that we just used on our last nail, that one does not need to be cured or does not need to be cleansed. This is a tack-free surface, so that one you're good to go. But I think I didn't cleanse my other one, so we're going to make sure to cleanse that with our ManiQ cleanser. All right, you guys, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, join our community, get free education. If you're a nail tech, if you're an enthusiast, wherever you are in your nail journey, we love having you part of our community. So, oh, we are running a raffle. How did we run a raffle? You guys, this is new. Okay, so looks like all you need to do is type into the chat, hit !raffle, and that will enter you into a raffle. Okay, this is new. All right, you guys, while you guys are entering the raffle, I'm thrown off here, you guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, make sure you enter the raffle. Just type in !raffle. And moderators, what are we raffling off? And how do they... Okay, let's see. My moderators are telling me winners will win a few glitters, and let's see, hold on a second. You need to join Discord. Okay, let's see. Winners will win a few glitters, and you need to join our Discord server, and we will message you. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm understanding this correctly. We will message you. Moderators, clarify that just in case. But if you do win, we will notify you, and that way we will send you some free glitters. So make sure to type in !raffle while I am cleansing our last nail here. So I'm trying to remember. Okay, sorry you guys. You guys will need to DM us if you win. So make sure to join us on Discord, and we are putting that link into the chat. And all right, moderators, how are we doing this? I'm going to cleanse the nail here. Moderators, are the moderators, are you guys choosing our winners? I think maybe Streamlabs is choosing the winners, but okay, we've closed the raffle. You guys, again, this is a new test that we've done today here. So if you were able to enter the raffle, let's see what happens. All right, you guys, moderators, are we choosing a winner? Are we doing one winner? How many winners are we doing? Let us know in the chat here. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Monty Pep. Looks like Monty Pep has won the raffle giveaway. Monty Pep, make sure to join us on Discord. Let's see. Wanna Be Natural says the link is not working. Denise Lopez, we just closed the raffle, so you just missed it. But you guys make sure to join us in our Discord server. If you won, message us on our Discord server. Monty Pep, looks like you were the winner today. So make sure to jump onto Discord, join us there, and message us, and you'll collect your prize. All right, you guys, in the meantime, I went through and I cleansed off that tacky finish on our second nail here. We've got all three of our designs here ready to go, finished and ready to go. Let's see, those of you that were asking how to enter the raffle, we closed the raffle already. It was just a really quick raffle today. And you guys, you gotta stay in our live streams. You gotta join us on all of our different social media. We do a lot of raffles and giveaways on our Twitch live stream, and looks like we're gonna start, well, we just did that today here on our live stream on YouTube. So make sure to join back. And yeah, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little thrown off there, but we've got our nail designs ready to go here. We've got our nice easy design, we've got more of a medium design, and then we've got a little bit more an in-depth seashell design for you guys today. So hopefully you enjoyed our live stream today. Make sure to check back and join us next time. Thanks, everybody.